Howdy, folks. Welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And what? We're live. Can you believe it?
Thank the gods of the YouTube Foundation.
Who are you telling? I'm telling you what, if there's a will, there's a way, folks. Because, whoa, let me turn this down. I don't know what's going on, and I'm not technological savvy. So pretty much I
Oh,
just had to reboot everything.
you do way better than I do. I can tell you that right now.
Like I said, it's working today, and that's all that matters. And let me tell you, folks, I am beat down. It has been one heck of a day, but I wasn't going to miss this for a world since I knew it was going to work. I
You
need
know
this
what?
tonight, to be honest with you.
It's weird. It's telling me it says live, but
Mine's
there we
going.
go. There we go. We're live.
You got, I think it's because your bandwidth.
No, it was saying this event will start in 7 minutes. I'm like, row.
Uh,
But no, we're good. Hi everyone.
I figured
See a
I'd go
little
ahead and
panic there
start.
for a second, Brian. We've been having some issues.
I mean, you just never know.
I know.
I mean,
I was like, uh-oh.
keep fingers crossed. This is going to do good. So anyway,
Yeah,
we'll give it some time. Like I said, most people, I put 10-10, and the reason I did that is because when I had to go in and schedule, it was stuck on Pacific again. So it wouldn't let me use just 10 o'clock for Eastern when I switched it. So I had to switch to 10-10 just to get it to work. Like I said,
strange.
it's been one of those days.
Yeah, it's been one of those days. The technology going, what?
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
those
just,
updates, those are brutal sometimes.
it's like, I got going today and I mowed, and, it takes about 3 hours to mow. And I got about a quarter of it done, and there was a stick got caught in the belt, and the belt come off. And
Yeah.
thank God my stepdad was coming over. We had to end up pulling the deck out, putting the belt back on, putting the deck back under it. And then I had to mow. And then we're going to plow, it's time to plow the garden.
Mm-hmm.
Well, put the plow on the tractor and put it down, and he bought a used one, used plow, and it was rusted. So then we had to take this huge big board and WD-40 and pry it loose where it rusted. I mean, everything, but everything's done. It looks great, and we're
That's
still
so awesome.
alive.
Yeah, a day on the farm, it'll kick your butt, huh?
Yeah. And let me tell you, where I've been down so long with all these freaking injuries and stuff. Whew, I gotta get my wind back. I tell you what, it just wore me out today.
Yeah, but remember I told you to just be drinking that H2O2 stuff.
Oh,
I think you still need a little bit.
well, you can't see it because of the green screen, but that's what
Yeah,
I'm doing.
right on. Right on.
Real quick, me and Trina were talking before the show, and I sent a message out to Desert Rose, but I just want to put out there, I'm going to do some journey work with Trina as well. And I want to do it with several people, to be honest with you. I'd like to do it with somebody that I don't really, talk with a lot, just because they don't know me well. But
Well, the thing is, like with my process, it's a kind of a beautiful thing. A lot of people do it very differently, but like my process, I can get you through your process to where you don't need to tell me what you're doing.
yeah, I mean, that's one thing.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of nice because a lot of people go and do some really deep stuff, and it's good because I don't need to know the details about what they're going through, especially if it's personal and they don't want to share it. I don't need to know that information. So it's a real safe process, which is beautiful because I don't need those things to get you where you need to go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of
But the
cool.
reason for it, I don't know if anybody else has been having, but Trina said that she had been having a lot of memories. But I've been all week has been getting these downloads and dreaming and stuff of like being in Knights Templar and like getting answers and like and what it came to. And I even did some research on it. What I'm teaching here, this higher minds, is exactly what killed the Knights Templar.
Yep, bingo. Yeah,
They didn't want you to know that there wasn't anything between us and God. We have a direct connection to God, and it's through the heart, and that's what they considered the Holy Grail.
yes.
So if anybody has any information on that, please email me. I'd love to talk to you, like actually talk on the phone.
Yeah.
So hit me up on
Any
that, because
Templar buffs, anybody who's done a lot of Templar research.
I've been getting like a lot of things that I've never seen on TV shows and things like that. So if anybody's well versed in Knights Templar, I'd like to know if it's true, like churches and their names and locations, like I don't know what they mean. So
Yeah,
anyway, please.
I have a book. It's called Holy Blood, Holy Grail. I could find it. I think it's got a lot of information about those churches and the Templar churches and that kind of stuff. And that goes all the way back to Mejivian king lines. So it's, yeah, this is old stuff. It's amazing.
It's mind blowing to me. Like I said, I don't know why it's coming through, but it is.
It's funny. I'm reading this Atlantis stuff right now. And it's so funny too, because it's just like, I think we've had, we have connections with these major timelines or our ancestors do, and we have access through that. Either way, we have access to it. And I'm reading the Atlantis stuff, and it's like all the Atlantis stuff, it's just, you get the flashes. More information.
I've had memories of Atlantis, but that, just very few. And it was only somebody sparked those memories. I can't remember. It might have been Desert Rose. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's a lot, like we always say, all this information's in here. It's just grasping it and holding on to it.
Well, it's just it's pulling it out of the subconscious because it's all there. We just don't have conscious awareness of it. So yeah, but we have access to it through your inner. It's just a different brain wave. That's why when you do like trance work, light trance work, you're not asleep. You're completely aware of your surroundings. You're not. I don't take people into deep symbiotic states because I haven't found it necessary. I've had people who want to go that deep, and I try to bring them back because I want you to be interactive.
Right.
And I want you to have a conscious awareness of what you do while you're into these levels of your brain. But it's literally just a shift in vibration when you go into delta and theta. But you do that every day.
Sparkle says the Templar never died. No, you're correct. They actually started up in Portugal as the Order of the Christ. They never died. They thought they did. And that's actually what started Portugal and made it an actual working country.
Well, I mean, they got rid of most of them, but yeah.
And they came here too. They came to America. I mean, you look at the way Washington, D.C. was laid out. I mean, that's all, I guarantee you, funded through the Order of Christ, Knights Templar and all that.
I was going to say, I think George Washington was one of those. I think I could be wrong, but I think,
no, a lot of the founding fathers. I think half of the Declaration of Independence was signed by Freemasons. So
yes,
that's pretty much the continuation.
The Ascended Masters, they were involved in that too. We had some supernatural.
That's why it's called the forbidden knowledge.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So let's see who we got with.
Talk about, Brian, the esoteric foundations of America through the Ascended Masters and like the stuff they like. It's a neat story.
Well, I'll definitely be looking into it more. Like I said, I'm being led to for a reason. So
it all ties in. It's so funny. It's like we're all being drawn to this ancient consciousness.
Yep.
Where it's like we're gonna regain so much power and wisdom through understanding our past.
Let me see what we got with us real quick before I get too far behind.
Okay.
Got Saturnian Sun. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Miss Mandy Moo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Truth in Me. There's Dick Trickle. What's going on, buddy? Julianne Payne. Good to see you, huh? Teresa D'Antone. Good to see you. There's the man, the myth, the legend. Robert V. We're going to be getting him back on here soon. He was supposed to be on here Saturday night, but we all know that didn't work out too well. Let's see. Who else we got going on? Lost in Space. Butterfly Kiss 286. What's going on, huh? Good to see you. There's Johan. Chloe, how you doing? Good to see you, Miss Shannon Kling. There's Darth Samuel Nagayan. Welcome, welcome. That way, what's going on? Payaso, I guess. I'm not sure if I'm sorry if I butchered your name, but welcome back. There's Gaza Cav. Good to see you, buddy. I got your email. I just hadn't I haven't done any emails this week. I've been bad. But I will get back to everybody that sent me an email. Who else we got going on? Mr. David Castle. What's going on, buddy? Twisted Isby. What's up, my man? Good to see you. I'd like to talk to him, actually. He seems very intelligent.
Okay, I already saw a question in chat, Brian. Can I?
Just hold on to it for a second.
Perfect.
Jesse McCartney, welcome, welcome. There's Lyndall Davison. I'd like to thank Lyndall Davison. She made a $40 donation and she said she believes in this community. Thank you so much, honey.
Lyndall, thank you.
There's Sparkles. Welcome, buddy. Good to see
Hi,
you. BTW70, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Pa Joe, welcome, welcome, welcome. BTW7, did I say? I think I did. There's Candy Apple, or we got all kinds of people here tonight. Who else we got going on? Miss Delaney, good to see you, huh? Jules, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Okay, I'm getting through it. Miss Michelle Cannon Free, how you doing? Who else we got going? Deborah Trudeau, good to see you. Lord, there's all kinds of people in here. Celia and Favor, that's what we're here for. Divine Empress.
Love it.
I think I got them all. Okay, question.
Okay, we've got what is a Templar? Can you explain, please? So I just pulled it up and it says define a definition of Templar. It's a noun and it says a member of the Knights Templar. What is the meaning of a Knights Templar? A knight of a religious military order established in 1118 to protect the pilgrims and the holy sepulchre. And then second, it says a man who belongs to a Masonic order in the United States.
See, I told you.
So that's Knights Templar.
No. Good. Well, I'm glad you brought that up. That answered some questions for me.
Yeah. And then like Brian, you were saying too, that they were also known to be the protectors of the Holy Grail. Yep. And that was this truth that we're talking about in the higher minds. It's the consciousness. It's knowing you have everything that you need within you and how to access that.
Yeah, like I said, I was doing some research into this, and I can't remember the king in France that got in trouble anyway. And the Knights Templar got paid the ransom on him, and it was like the weight of 10 cars, like 3,500, 3,500. I can't remember, like tons of silver, like 10 cars worth of silver.
Wow.
And they say that was just a drop in the bucket. How much of that, they had to move it from place to place to place. And we're talking major amounts of gold and silver.
Yes.
Major. I mean, it's got to be just planted everywhere. And like I said, I know, a lot of it probably in Portugal because King Denis is the one that took them in there. And like I said, that they're the ones that built up basically the country of Portugal. And then supposedly it was rumored, like I said, that they then to do the ultimate escape after they found out they had founded the Order of Christ there, then that's when they came to America.
Yep.
So,
they
are not dead. You were correct, Sparkles. They are not dead.
No,
still
they're
to
not.
This day.
No, yes. So funny too. They took them out on Friday the 13th.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the day most of them got slaughtered. Friday.
Big Al wants to know if can we all meditate together soon through telepathy? You can do it now.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, we are.
Yeah. I was reading the Ascended Master book and they were talking about going to an etheric temple of wisdom, an etheric temple of love. I was like, ooh, now that would be a fun group meditation to go meet up in an etheric temple of wisdom and love. Bring it.
Well, like I said, we're basically, probably a couple of shows done through we only got a couple of shows left to get through this book. And when I start that telepathy training, like I said, I don't know exactly how that's going to be done after this YouTube fiasco, but that's one thing that in the private discussions we will be doing, like not the ones I show here on YouTube, but the private group that'll just be done through Zoom. That's when we'll actually be doing telepathy and working together. And like I said, that needs to be private.
Yes.
So anyway, there's Grandpa Brian 420. What's going on, buddy? Truth and me. Well, you ready to rock and roll?
I'm ready to rock and roll.
All right. Party at the Moon Tower. Let's see. Let me get it going here. That's the one I want. Share the screen. Here we go. That's not it. Oh, crap.
You're like, that's not it. Hi, Truth and me.
Try this one more time. Share screen.
Hi, Dark Truth.
There we go.
You
That
got
was
it?
my fault.
Oh, that's all right.
So we're on chapter 48, and it says, where are we on page wise? 260 of 333. So we got about 3 or 4 shows left of this.
Oh, right on.
We'll start up. So anyway, without further ado, here we go. Chapter 48. So how do you know when you're making a spiritual progress? There's a simple answer and a more involved answer. Let me blow this up a little bit. The simple one is you will know. The more involved one is you are thinking more about spiritual things. You are meditating. Your concerns are less for personal things and more for others. Ain't that the truth? Whatever you see in your surroundings, good or not, you also see its spiritual value in connection to the universal consciousness. You will also see the spiritual progress in the amount of good things that start to show up in your life. Everything which touches your life has a spiritual value attached to it because it is all part of the omnipresent universal consciousness. When this understanding has arrived, you are well on your way and making solid spiritual progress. As a collective people, it is a little more difficult for us. It seems as we get in each other's way, and we have never really learned how to work together. The reason for that is our superior ego. When the people of the global community no longer allow corporate money-making wars, no longer allow the practices of oppressive and dishonest government with their iron-fisted control of society at the barrel of a gun to run our life, and turn to a practice of love for all mankind, we will have freedom, prosperity, harmony, and peace. Well, that was a short one, but that was a good one. And like I said, I think right now, just real quick, I know we don't have it. There's Brandy Robinson, welcome. And Project Skyfiles, how you doing? I lost my train of thought, to be honest with you. I saw those people down there. What was it talking about?
I was texting back to chat too, saying hi to people. Oops.
Okay. No, it was talking about the collective.
Yeah.
That's one thing, like I think that's kind of backfired with these people, what's going on now, this was straight up a fear propaganda. I mean, no matter how you look at it, it is real. I know that, but everything about this, I just don't know. And now they're pushing this second wave coming through, and that's what really concerns me. But
it does me too. But like I said, if we're aware and we're prepared, it's okay. You know what I mean? Just get ready and know we're going to get another wave for sure. I'm pretty sure too. So I think you're spot on with that, Brian.
But really, what I was going to say, that's even more reason for us now as a collective just to be putting out shoving positivity and love down everybody's throat. You see,
well, that meditation that was done, that big one, that was the first time the cases dropped. I mean, it really worked. I mean, we saw the Schumann's. I mean, there was so much evidence of the power that we were having on our reality.
We need to do it again.
I think so too, because it works. It works.
I don't have a platform big enough. I mean, we could try it.
No, Brian, that's the thing. You do, because the people in this platform, many of them are masters.
Even if we got 10 of us together, I think we'd make a difference.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But there's, like I said, there are some powerful people in this, and us together. See, that is the thing. And when they're talking about we haven't mastered the collective consciousness because we haven't learned how to cooperate because our ego is in the way. And that's exactly 100% completely the whole game right there.
Yep.
When you can lose the ego, you literally become unity, because your ego is like, you need your ego, but your ego is the only part that keeps you from that cooperation.
Yeah, I'm sure I know we could get Wayne involved as well. And I mean,
yeah.
So we'll work on that. And if y'all are interested, let me know in chat or send me an email or something. But I think that, like I said, if we could just get a few of us together, I think you could see a difference. And to be honest with you, Hell, I'd be happy if we get 10 or 20, just so I could show people what they're actually capable of. I think if we did have just 10 and we made a difference, because I know we'd make a difference on the human and stuff, I think it would show up.
Absolutely. It's unbelievable. And it's, like I said, and the step that people are forgetting in this is the cooperation part. It's like
Yep.
anytime we do these meditations, or anytime that anybody is doing these meditations, and then just put out the focus to the universe and say, anytime anybody who is serving common good, common love, common goal, I add my energy to that effort.
Yep.
And invoke that,
That's
command
what I
that
was
to be
saying.
done.
That's why
Yeah.
I've been telling people to just start working two people, one-on-one with practicing telepathy and things like that. Because just combining two people, you wouldn't believe the multiplication of the power it brings.
It's amazing because we learn so much from each other, and they've always shown me, like, when two humans come together, when their auras like connect, and if there's a powerful exchange there, it literally creates new information and new light. It is so powerful what they show me. It's super hard to put into words, but the power when we come together is unreal. It's unreal. It's so beautiful. And it makes all these new colors and these new vibrations, and like, because you're sitting in this vibration and these colors, and then the other person's sitting in these vibrations and colors, and then when they come together, it's like a diamond explosion and all new colors come out, and it's amazingly beautiful the way they show it to me, with sound and color and vibration and light. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's Perry Hagan. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you.
Hello.
You know Perry on Facebook? Are you friends with him? He's a good dude.
I don't know. I'm not a big Facebook person,
Oh, I hate Facebook, but it's a necessary evil. To be honest with you.
I'm just not real good at Facebook.
Yeah.
I like the messenger thing though. That's fun.
That's why I like Facebook.
Me too. I'm like, I do like that. That's fun.
So, all right, well, here we go. Let's get on with 49. All
Okay.
right. Peace will only happen after we discover the oneness and unity with the universal consciousness. As long as we think we are separate in competition with each other, and as long as we believe it is okay to oppress the weaker ones because everyone else is doing it, there will be government tyranny and misery. Over the millennia, there have been a few societies who figured it out and ran their affairs on the principles of integrity, love, and spirituality. How come I swear I think the Templars coming up on this, because we talked about it. That always happens.
Yeah.
These scenes lasted nearly 900 years as a spiritual society with no government, with just a council of 12 elders. Some societies based on Eastern philosophies have done really well also. Some of the Masonic teachings deal with this, but they do not go far enough because they are into control of the society for their own gain. Sometimes I can do nothing but smile when I think of the power-hungry politicians, bureaucrats, judges, and people high on this drug called power. If they only would understand that they are so desperately seeking, often at the cost of a family, friends, honor, spiritual advancement, is merely an illusion that will stay with them for only a short time, then it will all be gone. Without this illusion, the world would be a human-friendly place. Human-friendly is a general term we can hardly use for Earth today. With a different approach, the power hungry could have a rich physical life and positions of leadership for the good of mankind. They could have spiritual growth, universal knowledge, and conscious access to the universal consciousness. History would revere them as statesmen, women, as great leaders and creators for good. They would be industrialists and manufacturers of cures for disease instead of just manufacturers of pills to remove symptoms. Excuse me. They would bring forward green energy from water, electrogravities for propulsion, and energy from the 0 point vacuum. Research these on your own on the internet. The free energy technologies have already been created but are suppressed in favor of oil. I have a friend who has a hydrogen generator on his automobile by which he is burning water in addition to gasoline. Actually, the hydrogen generator is splitting up the water and burning the hydrogen. He has approximately double his fuel mileage on his automobile by that. If he could figure it out, why could not the car companies figure it out? Of course they can. These technologies have been around for a long time, but the oil companies and power companies are in control. America Incorporated. If many of these exotic technologies would be allowed to enter the market, it would cut pollution, create jobs, whole new industries. It would revitalize the desert into good farmland and solve many of the problems we live with today. And again, these technologies are basically banned because it would interfere with the cash cow of the status quo. Remember the saying, there is no money in the solution, there's only money in the problem. This, my dear spiritual traveler in the physical world, is your task to help change. This is our task. There's a lot going on behind the curtain that's very carefully kept from the masses. If we start looking at the details, the illusion holding both government and religion is very complicated and messy. One of the requirements to hold the office of the Pope for the Catholic Church is also to be a Mason. So says Dr. Schneblin. He was a Catholic cardinal residing at the Vatican. He did not like what he saw. He left the Catholic Church and wrote a book about his experiences and what is going on behind the scenes at the Vatican. I'm going to have to remember that. I want to read that.
Mm-hmm.
He showed the papers in his book proving the Pope had to be and was a 92nd degree Mason. Wow, 92nd. In Europe,
I've read his books. I actually have 4 of them, Brian. His books are amazing.
Yeah, I'm just looking
He
at
turned himself into a vampire.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, it was a bad deal. And he says the Lord was able to transmute the energy in his body and restore him back to his original. He said it was the worst thing that ever happened to him. He said it's bad deal.
I can
Yeah,
imagine.
this guy's been through some crazy stuff. And when he says he's a 92nd degree Mason, I would say from his books, he very well might be. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'll definitely be looking into that.
Yeah.
All right, here we
You
go.
wanted to, maybe you and we can go through that because I do have those books and they're insane.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll go over that later then. All right, here we go. He showed the papers in his book proving the Pope had to be. Oh, I already got that. In Europe, a select few worthy Masons can go all the way to the 92nd degree within the Masonic order. I guess that might be the highest.
Honestly, I think there's 360
Yeah, I'm
degrees.
sure it's not the highest.
Yeah,
We wouldn't have an idea of what the highest would be. To be honest with you, it's got to be some kind of esoteric number they stop at.
Yeah, I think it would be because they use the compass and they use the thing to make the perfect circle. I bet you it's 360.
You know, I wonder if Agnos, the guy who wrote this, he's got to have some kind of, like I said, this is the forbidden knowledge that they didn't want us to know, that there, like I said, there's nothing between us and God. He has to have some Masonic ties or something like that. Be my guess. I don't know.
Or it's like, like it's in the cellular memory. You just have some type of an inner understanding of these things.
Well, like I said, everything we need is within. So yeah, it's all there.
Right.
So any questions?
Not yet. Did I see any? Did I miss any? If you did, hit it up again. But I don't think so. I've been watching, so I think we're okay.
What page are we on? We're on 264, Truth in Me. Let's see. Okay, I don't see anything. All right. So here we go, chapter 50. There are more and more people around the world waking up to the fact that there are more to us than meets the eye, like us. During this generation, there will be a renaissance of spiritual awakening and political freedom. The ancient knowledge of truth is resurfacing again. You damn right. When this awakening reaches a level of momentum where the timid masses feel safe to speak out about their plight of involuntary servitude, it will be understood for what it is. The true purpose of the ones who gain and hold power and wealth by inducing fear into the people will be exposed. The subversive power of mind control and fear will gradually go away, and people will start to becoming more self-determined and think for themselves. And I'm telling you, that's what we're seeing today. There's nothing that can stop this spiritual awakening. Once people start to understand that universal consciousness or Christ consciousness will bring out the truth, they will be set free. As always, freedom starts in the mind. There is no need for greed when the universal consciousness is the supplier. If we would turn inward and listen, treating everyone with respect and love, we would realize that spiritual and physical riches are constantly flowing from the source of all things. Keep your focus on the spiritual and not on the illusion. When you do, your physical life will unfold in harmony and you will be graced with abundance. So true. And because it was not only yours in the first place, when abundance starts to flow, sharing, willing it, and it will multiply. This book is easy reading. I recommend for you to read it several times. Like I've said, yeah, I recommend that. Each time you read it, you will discover more of the truth. Some of the knowledge will only be understood after the second or third time you read it. It is not necessarily that the book gets deeper the further you get into it. It is your understanding of the spiritual concepts and the world around you that is improving. Your spiritual capacity and vibration are increasing. There is a final destination for your journey. In between here and there, you will have many temporary destinations. We should be more concerned with the final outcome of these temporary destinations or goals than the details of building the road to it. If you have visualized the final outcome of the temporary destinations the way you like it, it has already been created in the soup of creation, ready for you to attach to it and pull it down into your physical existence of form. All the details have already been solved with your physical knowledge and will unfold on their own according to physical science. Sit down and take some time to envision a happy event tomorrow, another one next week, next month, next year, next decade, next century. Spend some time visualizing each occasion or goal, temporary destination you have thought of. Visualizing yourself laughing, happy, healthy, feeling exciting, loved, and respected, knowing that you are active and productive and have your good friends around you. And here we are. Feel a sense of accomplishment and happiness. This is the kind of future planning of which we need to do more. It makes us a vibrational match to the good things we have already created that are sitting in the soup of creation, ready for us to draw down to us in the physical, mind-created existence of form. Leave the details and the planning to the universal mind behind the scenes. When you have created the final outcome in the soup of creation, just wait. When you get a strong inspiration, go and do your part of it. Compare this to going to the shoe store to buy a pair of boots. All you care about is coming home with the boots. You don't care about how the boots were made, how the heel is attached, glued or nailed, and you definitely do not want to think about the cow who gave up the hide for the leather to be made. Just care about bringing the boots home. It is that simple. Do the same on the mental and spiritual level. You will be in for a ride, but it'll be a good one. After reading this book, you will have many questions. After reading it 2 times, you only have half as many questions. And after you have read this book the third time, your life will never be the same. You are on your way, ready, or read, study, and meditate at least twice per day, or with whatever time you have. Usually you have as much time as you're willing to take. And that's so true. Just
Yeah.
most time people don't take that time. Usually you have as much time as you're willing to take. And remember, you do not have to meditate for hours. Just a few minutes, 2 to 5 is a good start. That still exercises the connection to the universal consciousness. And real quick, let me stop here. That's one thing, like, a lot of people worry about like meditating, and I actually talked to my mom about that today. She has trouble meditating, actually just getting, time alone to do it. And really, like, the main thing in meditation, and like I said too, I recommend people when they go in, my hardest thing is, and my mom was talking about, the meditation she was trying to do was, to open different things, and I was like, no, 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 stop all that. The only thing you need to focus on when you start meditating is just your breath. You just want to clear every thought out of your mind. That is the main goal to meditating. Once you get past that point where you can clear your mind, like used to, it would take me, seem like a couple of minutes to even get into that meditative. Now I can basically sit down and count to 10 and I'm there.
Yes.
It's all about muscle memory and doing things like that.
Practice. Yeah, practice. And for those people who want to do the astral and the more of the lucid dreaming and stuff like that, if that's something you really want to work on, always try to do that right when you're waking in the morning.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
pull
the best
away.
time to meditate. That's
Yes,
not
it is.
most
I
people
was
when
gonna
I
say,
meditate, but
yeah,
I
don't
do.
miss those morning windows right when you wake,
Now
because
that's
sometimes,
especially if you're trying to get answers. If you want to get answers after you learn how to meditate, do it in the morning. That's the best time because you're coming out of that dream state, and it's easy to get
yeah,
right back into it.
well, that's what I mean. You're in a trance. You're literally in trance at that moment. You're in that what they call the delta state. So you're not fully conscious yet. You're still in that in between more, window, and that's when you're in those states of trance.
Yep.
And you can do a lot in those states. You can hook up with your inner child and have them sit down and school you for a little bit. I mean, you can do all kinds of fun stuff in that state of mind.
Thanks, Perry, buddy. I appreciate you being here. I'm seeing people talking about like money and all that. And,
Oh, yeah, and I was looking at Joe John's
Johan.
Johan. I saw to say I know it was one of the J's who wrote that. That was brilliant when she said that about the money thing. It's like, what if, because they're talking, everything's going to collapse in the dollar and all the stuff. Okay, so just hypothetically, what if it did? This would be the perfect opportunity to start all new stuff. And, really honestly, barter,
I mean, you go to a lot of these stores now, and a lot of stores don't even accept cash.
correct. And think about it. If they want to hypothetically put us into a system where it's going to all become digital and all this stuff, but a lot of people aren't going to want to go that route. So this might be a perfect opportunity to start something completely brand new. And I think the answers to the problems that we have right now, we've already solved them in the past, because we've already had very successful societies that do not use currency.
Well, all timelines run simultaneously.
Correct.
So it's just,
So we
and I
have,
swear, I think that explains some of the Mandela effect and things like that. I think it's slipping back and forth in timelines, and that's because of
I
us
do too.
affecting reality.
And what's weird too, because like I see timelines within one specific timeline, there's like multiple variations of that timeline. They're
Right.
all super close though,
Yep.
like super close. So yeah. It's a conundrum when you think about it all that way, because it means we're bouncing in and out of stuff all the time. We might even be doing it from moment to moment.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I didn't see any questions there. Good conversation going on in chat. I love it. All right, anyway, so how do we start meditating or and connect to universal consciousness? You make a decision and make a commitment. Allocate time and make a schedule of meditation practices 2 or 3 times a day. One of the practices should be 15 to 25 minutes in length. However, even a 3-minute meditation during your work lunch hour at your desk will help. That's what I'm saying. Sorry to stop real quick, but
No, that's
if
awesome.
I'm in a bad mood or something, or I don't feel good like that, sometimes I'll forget, but most time now I remember I can just go meditate, and it at least subsides the pain and stuff. Like today when I was hurting so bad, but I went in and meditated and tried to clear out that pain and stuff, and it did help. And like I said,
I remember, Brian, when you were learning all of that, and you would forget sometimes, and you'd be like so miserable. And then you'd remember, and you'd go and you'd meditate. You were like, why didn't I do that like
I
20
know.
hours ago? And we
I'm a-
would laugh. I'm like, right? We forget. We get so wrapped up in our own stuff, we forget to take care of ourselves. And
get wrapped up in this 3D
best,
ego reality.
yeah.
But anyway,
And
I'm
you'd be
starting to
like,
figure it out.
why didn't I do that sooner? We would laugh. I'm like, right? We forget.
It's amazing, like I said. But now, like I start thinking about it again. But I'm telling you, folks, that truly does, like, and I'm telling you, these daily affirmations, and I kind of got away from it there for a little bit, but I've started it back. Getting up and doing those daily affirmations really helps kickstart your day in a better mood. It's better to start off positive than it is in the negative, because then you're going to be fighting it all day.
That is a powerful truth you're dropping there, Brian. It really sets the vibration of your whole day.
It does.
It really
It really
does.
does.
You're absolutely right. That is a powerful creation tool, and it is a powerful way to start letting the things you want come into your life show up because you're really holding a focus on it, and that's brilliant.
Yep. So anyway, sorry I got off track there, folks. But anyway, here's number 3. Read what it says about meditation in the back of this book. And in another one of my books, The Secrets You Are Not Supposed to Know About. I'll have to look at that one. To be released right after this one. Here you will read more of how to manage the mind and how to know universal success principles you will not learn unless you talk to billionaires. Okay, that's definitely going to be one we're covering. Chapter 2 or page 267. Let me write that down.
Oh, that's so funny. The secrets you are not supposed to know about.
Right. And I mean, like I said, I like this guy. I like this book.
Oh, he's an amazing writer, and he is dropping some serious wisdom bombs.
Yeah. And it's simple. He puts it simple. That's what I
Yes,
like
he
about you.
does.
Sometimes you read those things and it's got all the big words, and I'm pretty good with the English language. I know I don't sound like it, but I know the English language. And when people start using all those big words, it's just like I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Simplify. Keep it simple, stupid, right?
You got it. That's so funny. I read your mind. We were saying it at the same exact time.
So
that's so funny. I love it.
Yeah. All right. Where was I? Okay. There we go. Remember, meditation serves purposes besides what is spoken of in this book, such as stress relief, healing, and temporary substitute for sleep. A 20-minute meditation is equal to 2 to 4 hours of sleep. A 20-minute meditation is equal to 2 to 4 hours. That makes sense because that's about my tops is 4 or 5 hours of sleep, so I can sleep. Read and research spiritual material. That's what we're doing. Keep practicing and you will be guided. There is a concept which will always be true. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Yes. I think that's true.
Yeah. And then, I turned my teacher away one time, but I was kind of scared it might have been an imposter.
Really?
I did turn a teacher away. Yeah. I had an ascended master show up in my room. And he asked me if I was ready to start my instructions, and I was only, oh my gosh, I was 25 years old, and I just had my first baby, and I was like, I don't think so right now. I gracefully decline, but I was like, was my discernment being true? And because something said no, you know what I mean? So was I being hit by a Decepticon, or or was it just not the right time for me? Interesting though.
It is.
Asking, you want these things to show up. Be careful what y'all ask for.
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah, when you open the mind, like I said, and that's something that I was thinking about earlier. I haven't talked with anybody, but like, all these things that's been coming through with that Knights Templar, like, and sometimes I just want it to stop. I'm like, God, turn it off. Right.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to meditate on that.
You can do that. It's the funniest thing, like the way I used to do that to shut off all the, the visions and the information sometimes, because, sometimes it gets a little overwhelming, especially when you're opening up. I imagine putting like a baseball cap on my head. It's like, okay, I'm closed for business right now. And I just like shut off, it's like a symbol for me, and it's an energy thing. And it's literally like, okay, I'm putting the hat on. That means I just need to be with me. And I'm just going to be in the real 3D world right now and be grounded and just be no visions, no nothing. Just I put on a hat, and the energy hat to say, shut down right now. I'm out of no more. Time out.
Well, thank you, Project Skyfalls. I appreciate that. I want to welcome Jesse McCartney, Raven Kiefer, and there's Judith Nolan.
Hi, Raven. Hi,
Brandy Robinson's with us too. Good to see you.
Yes, good. Hi, Brandy.
All right, let's see. Hopefully we're about through this one. So you are on a phenomenal journey. For some of you, this will be the start of a more accelerated spiritual journey. For others, it will just be a stepping stone. All is just as it was planned. That's what I say. We're all on our separate paths, but we're going to the same place. There is no coincidence you are reading this or listening right now. We are all travelers on a journey towards perfection. We are riding different trains, some faster, some slower. Some get derailed, and it takes a while before we get back on the track again. Some of us get off to smell the roses or get slapped around along the way. Some understand the importance of this now, and some later, much later. Some have too much fun driving their Cadillac and playing the game of illusionary life. All this is okay. When you're done having fun and the consequences show up on your illusionary doorstep, you will come to your senses and come home to what is real. And that's what we're doing. Life is a wonderful journey. When you allow your spirit or the universal consciousness to come to the surface and do the work for you, each day will create wonders done with grace. Peace of mind, happiness, and abundance is not a question. There is a small community at this level of consciousness. Feel free to join us. We will be looking for you. Yes, you. Now you are ready for the next phase, the next chapter. Let the most powerful force in the universe do the work for you. Let me repeat that. Let the most powerful force in the universe do the work for you. That is the power within.
Yep. Bingo.
That brings us to part 2.
That is so beautiful, Brian. I'm so loving this information, and it's so funny because it's so in resonance with kind of what I'm reading too right now. It's like, yeah, like I said, that's the whole discernment thing. I was getting into the ascended master stuff, and then I had one show up in my bedroom, but I was literally like using discernment. This is so important. We learn that because literally when you start knocking on these doors, let me tell you, there's a lot of hitchhikers that want to show up. So
Yep.
y'all use discernment.
To be honest with you, I think I'm going to stop the reading for that right now. And, maybe we can just talk to chat and stuff for a while.
Perfect.
Since we're going into part 2, I don't want to start it and then stop. So,
Yeah.
if anybody has any questions in chat, I'd be more than happy to answer anything. Let's see what they're talking about.
Yeah, if I look at gardening, wedding planning.
I'm going to have to remember Raven Kiefer. I'll have to subscribe to them. Y'all leave a comment or something on the video. That way I can subscribe. I hate the way that YouTube has done it now. We're in chat. Remember, used to, you could click on the icon or something and you could go to their channel. Now it doesn't do that.
Right. Yeah, Brandy, Wayne was talking about the golden serpent. Yeah. And yeah. That was a powerful vision he had about that.
Oh, yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, I remember Wayne had the golden serpent vision. Yeah, that was powerful.
Yeah, to be honest with you, like I get a lot of things, and I don't like talking about them. To be honest with you, I don't know why. I keep most of the shit to myself.
I did my whole life, and now I'm just like, just screw it. I'm just going to give it out because hopefully it'll just help somebody else. I'm just like,
to be honest with you, I feel like people are going to think I'm crazy. It's like, I was talking to my mom about meditation.
Oh, I already went through that a long time ago. I'm over it. I don't care. I'm over it.
Brandy says, do you remember?
Yeah.
Also, Saturnian Sun says, do I give it to the universe or do I do what's inside? I'd say both.
They're connected.
Yeah, everything's connected.
When you're working with your source, you're connected to source. They're the same.
Yep.
That's the only thing that keeps you from that is your separation of your identity as self or ego.
Well, you said the key word there, separation. Like I said, the forbidden knowledge is we are connected to God. God is in us. God is everywhere. Like I said, it's not some guy sitting on the throne. It's everywhere you look. God is energy. It is consciousness.
Oh, absolutely, Brian. That is it. Yeah, I heard of the thing about the HR.
My mom was talking about that today. What is that?
It's literally a bill that they were presenting to the House, and it's about the tracing and like coming into your house and removing people if they're sick.
Oh yeah, that's right. And listen, folks, I'm glad you brought that up. We need to pay attention to these things, and I know most people, whatever, but they're passing things left and right now in the House and Congress that is impeding our freedoms, our securities, everything. And like, we need to pay attention to these things, because if we don't voice up our opinion, it's just
Yeah.
they're gonna pass it through. So
Yeah.
people
What we
see.
need to do is say no, say we don't like this, we don't want this, and it's not good. I mean, we literally have to say no, because there's so many things. There's two different people fighting for two different plans, and they're fighting. And
I mean, what does it say on the Declaration? We the people.
yeah, yeah. And bottom line is like things have gotten so crazy. It's like, we've got somebody who works on viruses, and somebody who makes shots for viruses, and then they make all the money for the viruses, and then they have the patent for the virus. It makes you think that there's a real big conflict of interest right there about making money on a virus.
It's just like everything, the cycles.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, this isn't going to work out real good for anybody. So we just need to simply say no. Thank you very much, but no thank you. It's okay.
Saturnian Sun says, getting tired of getting hit over the head yet? Just take it. Take it. I've learned to just take it in stride.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, don't waste your energy on anything negative like that. It's
Yeah.
just
The most,
separate.
like I said, the greatest power that we hold is the power that they don't want you to know, which is that power inside of you that is connected to source. That's why it says when you want to get your shoes, you don't worry about how those shoes were made. You just put the order in, and you say, this is what I'm expecting, and you come home with the shoes.
Yep.
So this is how we win, is we focus on what we want to see. We focus on seeing community. We focus on seeing concerts and people hugging each other and dancing together. And we see people coming together and having plenty of food and growing food and sharing crafts and sharing art and sharing music and sharing creativity, creating new things. It's time for us to start building again, to start creating. And
Absolutely.
you do it first in the mind, but then you do have to use your hands.
Healing hands. Big Al, no, I'm not taking any calls, but I'm thinking about doing a call-in show on Friday night though.
Oh, right on. Those are fun.
Yeah. It's been a while. And like I said, Zoom updated their security on that. Hence why I had problems going yesterday. The update just screwed everything up in my computer. So yeah, Big Al, I mean, like I said, I think I'm gonna do calls in, but we're not doing them tonight. No, I'm sorry. So I
Hi,
gotta
Steve.
set everything
That
up.
Miss Landed Sleuth is in the house.
What's going on, Steve? Actually, Steve, I'd like to talk to you because I know you're more on to the Bible side, which I'm not as well versed in. But like I said, I'd like to talk to you about these visions and things I'm getting through the Knights Templar, because I think you might. For some reason, I was led to talk to Steve, so I need to talk to you.
Yep.
So tomorrow,
Yep.
if you're free, hit me up. He's got my number.
I bet you too. He's got some resonance with the Templar stuff too.
Like I said, I'm Steve popped in my mind, so for some reason I'm supposed to talk to Steve.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So, and I've learned, like I said, folks, I've learned, listen to your intuition, man. I'm telling you, like sometimes I'll be driving down the road, and usually I go the same ways and stuff, but sometimes my intuition, take a left here, and I'll take a left. You know what I'm saying? And I avoided a wreck, I don't know, or something like that.
Yeah.
But listen to your intuition; it will not lead you wrong.
Absolutely. God almighty. And learning how to listen to your own body, learning what yes is and learning what no is.
Yeah.
Learn that.
Something I need to work on, listening to my body, because Lord, I've beat it to death.
Yeah, but Brian, like if something is false, you can feel it. And if something's true, you can feel it. So we got to learn your own body's rhythm on how it speaks to you with yes and no, and that will help you so much with discernment. So you're like, because we always question sometimes, is that right? Am I understanding that right? Well, then you can tune in and say, is that right? And let your body answer you, because your body knows.
Absolutely.
It knows.
So yeah, I guess we'll do the call-in show Friday, and then do you want to do that thing with Robert Saturday that we're supposed to do Saturday?
Sure.
Because he's got some good stuff. I do know that. And then of course, we may come back and just do the Sunday, Monday, and try to knock this out. You know, a couple, at
Okay.
least few chapters of this. So, and I'm gonna
Okay.
try to drum up something for Thursday too. I know I wanna have Gaza back on. I know he's, you know, he's dealing with some things right now. I'd like to send some love to him and his family, little Viker.
Yeah.
So, yeah, send some love to him. And also, folks out there, send a little love and healing energy for my mom and my stepdad. My stepdad is kind of worried about his kidneys. So
Mm,
send some love out to him. He needs it. And like I said, I don't know what I'd do without him. He's been my saint and
absolutely.
savior here. So anyway,
Absolutely.
send them some love. And like I said, I hadn't seen any more questions. So you got anything you want to add? Yeah, actually, I know I want you to add. Talk about the things that you've been sharing, because you've been sharing a lot of good information.
Oh, on the Atlantis stuff.
Yeah.
It's a story about some people who like gathered as a spiritual community, and then they started experiencing channelings from the masters, and it took them on journeys to Greece and Egypt, and now they're on their way to Bimini to go and experience the vortexes of Atlantis. And
Yeah.
through that, they're going to be awakening the consciousness of their seventh dimensional. They're going into the seventh dimension with the masters, and they're going to take them to this destination vibrationally. And like I said, these stories are opening up memory in our codes, in our cells. And that's why I'm sharing these stories, because the metaphor of these teachings is the truth that's buried inside of you. So this is
If
my goal
anybody
is,
in chat has had any, you know, dreams or things of Atlantis and things like that, I'd like to know. And you know, shoot Karina an email. Like, yeah,
yeah,
I think that we're supposed to be discussing these things. Like I said, and like I said, most
that's
time I don't discuss,
Ryan,
you
you're
know, the
absolutely
downloads I
right.
get.
You're absolutely right. Because you know what they keep telling me? The problems to what's happening right now with our financial situation was the solution was in Atlantis.
Hmm. Like I said,
So
I know we're supposed to be coming together talking about these things. Hell, like I said, if we're, it's even better reason to come together. And while you're together, go ahead and meditate together and try telepathy.
absolutely. Yeah, Brian, in those times, there was no starvation, there was no sickness. It was kind of like when people did get sick, they would get healed very quickly. Um, there was no money. You didn't need money. Everybody had everything they needed, but it wasn't a socialist type of a system. And people lived in what they called the garden, which was outside of the complexes. And then
Hmm.
people that lived in the inner complexes, they were the scientists, the ones who were doing the research. You know, you would go there for healing, you'd go there for medicine, you'd go there for technology. This is where everything was being created. So they were in complexes. So people who worked in the complexes kind of stayed in the complexes, but they would go out into the gardens. We didn't cut down the trees. They were ancient and they were massive and they were huge. And we still had connection to God, and we still could see fairies, unicorns, dragons. All these things were still in our awareness because of our vibration. We were vibrating in a sixth dimensional energy. And
A
this
lot,
is what we're supposed to return to.
a lot of
That's
people
what
in chat are
ascension.
saying things about Atlantis and things. I remember Crystal Cities, Jill Jarrett said,
Yes, me too. Beautiful crystal cities, and multiple. There were many,
and
many.
dreams of Atlantic sinking. And I think it was, who was it?
I dreamt that too. I died in the lab trying to save people. Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think that they physically sank it. I don't. I think that was just one of those
What I saw,
occurrences from the
Brian,
heavens.
what I saw was through genetic manipulation, we lost part of our humanity. And all of the new creations that were being born didn't have the kind of connections that we did, and we realized that we broke humanity. We broke us. Something went wrong, like we were tricked or something went wrong, and this fractured our minds as a collective. That's what I'm saying. And as a collective, we cooperate, and that collective trauma literally manifested on the earth, and it destroyed the earth, and it was a reflection of what had been done to us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's what I understand.
See, that's what I'm saying. We're supposed to be talking about these things, and I guarantee, like I said, just those few things that people are saying in chat, like Butterfly Divine Goddess Reiki says Lemuria is DF or Divine Feminine, and Atlantis is Divine Masculine. Good to see you
Totally
too, by the way.
makes sense. Totally makes sense to me because, yeah, Lemuria, the bodies weren't fully physical. They were still more six-dimensional, etherical, vibrational. They were not in a third-dimensional vibration. That came with the introduction of the destruction of the divine feminine masculine balance, and we went into a masculine, and we went fractured in through trauma, and it was because we were tricked, kind of like with what's kind of going on now. You know how people are trying to get all these things, and it's like all this crazy stuff is going on that's putting stuff in us that we don't really know what that's going to do.
Hmm.
This is what was going on then. We were introducing things into the genetics, and we didn't really know what they were going to do. And the ones that tricked us into doing it, they knew exactly what it was going to do.
Be honest with you, I don't. I wanted to get Carrie on here. She's the Butterfly Divine Goddess Reiki. I'd like to get her back on here too. And actually, I'd like to have you on with her. I don't know why,
Oh,
but
that would be
that's what I'm
awesome.
being told. So, but I think she's got a lot of information that could help. And I don't know, for some reason, you can. I feel like
You
I'm
know
supposed
what
to
was
talk to Carrie
amazing
too.
too, Brian, was from what I remember how this society worked. Um, it was we had replicators. So and we have replicators now. See what I mean? The technology is now available to where we can reproduce how things were operating there. And people, there was two kind of people. Like a lot of people were technological, scientific. They were doing more of that stuff, the healing and stuff like that. And then you had the people who were more in the gardens, and they were more natural people. And but everything was honored, and it was okay, it was allowed. So you didn't have to choose, or you could go to the garden if you were in the complex, and if you were in the garden you could go to the complex. It wasn't a big deal. and
Right.
and we had no motor cars that I could remember. I couldn't see motor cars. They might have had them, but everything was hoverboards. So
Hmm.
like you could go through the gardens on hoverboards, and there were hovercraft, and then there were like trains, like like magnetic.
Well, I mean, like it said in the book just now, that the
Yeah.
anti-gravity propulsion and all that.
Yes, and we have it all now. So it's like we truly do have the ability right now to recreate Atlantis. And I think a lot of us are here now because we're trying to make right what went wrong in that timeline.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's why we're here. And I'm telling you, I think I keep being told like we've got to come together. Got to
Oh,
come together.
this is how we win.
Yep.
Yes. We come
So
together with one family, one heart. There's nothing we can't accomplish if we can hold a vision together and feel it and seal it with love. It's done.
slightly
Just ring.
saying Sleuth for the truth says I'm doing a show tomorrow about 7. So y'all go check him out. 7
Oh, that is
Eastern. So
right on.
be a good one. Well, you
Right
got
on.
anything else you want to add before we wrap her up?
Oh, just I love you guys. We're gonna figure this out, and we're gonna fix our reality and make it a garden again. And I can't wait to play in the garden with you all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I look forward to it. Like I said, the garden has been plowed here today, so
I know, right? See
time to
the
plant some
synchronicity?
seeds. Well, let's see, folks. I honestly, like I said, I know Friday, Saturday, Sunday I'll be back, but I'm gonna try to work something in either Wednesday or Thursday. So just stay tuned and look for that. As always, it's 10 East Coast is when I come on. So until then, be the frequency you want to receive, folks. And I tell you, go out there and just shove that love down their throat. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good night, and I love you.